1981 was a lively year for European jazz rock, and Swiss quartet Kjol released their second of two albums, Sunny Day, and from that album, the track Nature Box. Hear that bass work? That is courtesy of American Fernando Saunders, who teamed up with the band for this effort. The credits are rather confusing on this one because saxist Brigeen Doran's name is affixed to the nameplate for this release, so unlike the first where it was just Kjol. And yet, Fernando Saunders, like fifth wheel, is the featured like guest here. I mean, you kind of wonder why didn't they just call it Kjol and Saunders or something like that. That riff right there reminds me of something off of I think Wired. Yeah, I think something off side two of I think the first track on side two of Wired by Jeff Beck. Thinking of that track. That bassist has kind of a Jacko influence in his tone and technique, it seems. 'So far, this is like a three-person show, really. It's just the drumming, which is just all over the place. It's Brigeen's sax work and Saunders' bass playing, really nimble. 6/8. Hear her, Brigeen Doran, I believe female. Hear her flutter like that, just basically in the key of G, like. G7. Because they're throwing that 7 dun 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 dun, yeah, 7 F F F G. Dave Doran on drums, and what a real pile driver he's proven to be here. I wonder if there's any relation, Brigeen Doran, Dave Doran, siblings, or... those synth tones kind of remind me of Joe Zawinul's tones that he used at times on the 80s era Weather Report albums. I like how that drummer, how his toms sound like snares. Everything has kind of like a snare type reverberation to it. And it sounds like he's surrounded by them too. It's like there are these rolls where it sounds like he's just like circling around, like in a spinning chair, like. Yeah. Nature Box by Brigeen Doran's Kjol with guest Fernando Saunders on bass from America. The bando is from Switzerland. And overall, it was basically a jamming piece built in the primarily in the key of G7 with lots of great interplay between like fretless bass, saxophone, oftentimes kind of free, kind of playing in kind of a fluttery, often high notes, and a lot of really active drumming, just lots of rolls, just everywhere, just beats everywhere, accents and such. And then a few like towards kind of like in the second half, some good kind of like tight soloing on guitar, and tasteful sprinkling of synthesizer here and there, kind of economical. Not really taking command other than in the introduction, and then toward the end we had that, or kind of in the penultimate section we had that one moment where where the soloing subsided and centered around this sax riff and such, and not too overall, not much of really a definite theme to it, but it didn't really need it. I was pretty entertained. Let's hear another track from the album, Alter Ego. The drummer's using a bit more cymbal this time, but he constantly just kicking up dust on that snare. Fernando Saunders is much lower in the mix in this one, just kind of laying down some smooth low end licks and such, facilitating, giving kind of a bottom end to Brigeen Doran's more, somewhat louder, but nonetheless very smooth, more kind of mid range sax on this one. Interesting. You don't hear that kind of guitar tone much on albums like these. But then again, this band is not like your orthodox jazz rock band of the time period. I mean, they're using like fretless bass, which is kind of despite like Jacko's popularity, wasn't really adopted by too many bands at the time, and that kind of Tal Farlow-esque guitar tone. Um, Pat Metheny went for kind of more of a light, kind of pastel tone at times, but he tended to play a lot quieter. Him being much more in that ECM type vein. Like I bring him up because I think that Pat Metheny was probably influenced by Farlow, by yeah. Uh, uh, but and then other than that, the band also seemed to be kind of drawing upon some like Weather Report influences, like kind of from that side of Weather Report that isn't brought up as much. You know. What I mean by that is post heavy weather. Yeah, post Mr. Gone Weather Report. I'm getting kind of a Return to Forever vibe in this section. Those kind of dark moments, like on Where Have I Seen You Before, No Mystery, that era where they would go kind of like into these plunges where it would get all, where the sound would be all kind of brimming. Yeah, it's like where Shikaria would like do these like brimming sustains. It's like Lenny White started to do those really fluid rolls, and the others were just kind of like going overboard. Oh, I love those modulations toward the end. The climax that wouldn't just quite resolve. It just started to kind of like fade away amid rising and falling modulations, and those shimmering kind of luminous synth sustains that just kept rising over, you know, like that. Yeah, beautiful. Brigeen Doran's Kjol, the track Alter Ego from their 1981 release Sunny Day. And we had Brigeen Doran on saxophone, Dave Duran on drums, Heinz Affolter on guitar, and bassist Fernando Saunders. Yeah. Yeah, the band had another bassist, Walter Stricker. Maybe the two different bass tones I was hearing was the two of them trading. I don't know. The information on this release is so skimpy and hard to come by. Maybe Walter Stricker was only on the first. Yeah, maybe he was going. Maybe, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they give information on there. There's more credit information on the first album, Take It On, but all the info I can find out there on Sunny Day is just hardly lists anything as far as, yeah. Anyway, for more Rubies and Sapphires from the Kjol albums, see the directory of albums by Swiss artists linked in the description below. It is formally titled Albums from Landlocked Europe, and it combines albums artists from Switzerland and Austria, because I couldn't really, it was the best collective category I could come up with, those two countries that were too small in their output to merit their own directories, and yet they couldn't really be included in the German directory, the French directory, the Eastern European directory, the Benelux directory, the Iberian directory, the Italian directory, the Scandinavian. There had to be some kind of grouping for those two countries. And landlocked, technically it would be landlocked Western Europe, but that's another thing. Just, yeah. Anyway, like and subscribe and follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the two tracks we heard, the layers, the instrumentation, the harmonics of the two pieces of each, or either of them. Which instrumentalist stood out to you the most, and share any information you might have on this release to fill in some of the missing details on the internet thus far. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-travel trimaximalist, signing off.